People often say miracles happen in unexpected places. But billionaire Ethan Crawford never believed in miracles, until the day a starving beggar girl grabbed his hand and whispered, "Don't eat that, sir, please." He almost pulled away. He almost shouted at her. He almost walked past, thinking she just wanted attention. But then he saw something that froze his breath and changed the course of his life forever. Ethan Crawford lived in a world of spotless boardrooms, luxury cars, and people who bowed at his presence. As the owner of Crawford Enterprises, he made decisions that shook markets. Yet behind all this power, he lived with a quiet emptiness, a life where money could buy everything except truth, genuine care, and peace. One early morning, he decided to visit a new cafe his company was considering buying. Accompanied only by his driver, Ethan wanted to evaluate the place himself before finalizing the multi-million-dollar acquisition. The cafe was located in the older part of the city, surrounded by narrow streets and small shops struggling to survive. As he stepped out of his car, he noticed something unusual. A little girl, her clothes torn, her hair messy, her eyes tired but bright, sitting on the sidewalk. She looked no older than 10. People walked past her without noticing, but she watched everything with a quiet alertness. Ethan ignored her and walked toward the cafe. Inside, a warm aroma of freshly baked pastries greeted him. The staff didn't recognize him. They simply handed him a menu like any ordinary customer. He liked that. On the counter was a slice of chocolate cake, fresh, soft, perfect. He ordered it. As the plate arrived, Ethan lifted the fork. Then suddenly a tiny hand grabbed his wrist from the side. "Don't eat that," the girl cried, her voice trembling. Ethan jerked back, startled and annoyed. "What do you think you're doing?" he snapped. The cafe went silent. Everyone stared. The girl lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry, sir. You can't eat that." "Why?" he demanded. "Is this some kind of trick? Do you want money?" She shook her head furiously. "No, sir. I don't want anything." Ethan scoffed and pushed her hand away. "I don't have time for this." He lifted the fork again. The girl stepped back, tears filling her eyes, but she didn't give up. "Look at the cake closely, sir. Please." Annoyed but curious, Ethan leaned closer. That's when he saw it. A faint shimmer, a tiny sprinkle of blue powder on the side of the cake, barely visible to the naked eye. He touched it carefully, and the powder left a strange smell on his fingers. His heart pounded. Ethan immediately called the cafe manager and demanded the source of the cake. The manager, sweating nervously, admitted that an employee had quit 2 days ago after a heated argument. An employee who had access to the kitchen. An employee who knew the cafe was being evaluated by Crawford Enterprises. Ethan's instincts kicked in. He ordered the cake to be tested by a private lab. Within an hour, the results arrived. The cake contained traces of a toxic chemical, not enough to kill instantly, but enough to cause serious harm if consumed regularly. A sabotage attempt. Ethan stood frozen, the weight of what almost happened crashing into him. If the girl had not stopped him, he might have become headlines by the next morning. He turned toward her. She stood at the entrance, trembling, afraid he would punish her. Slowly, Ethan approached her. "How did you know?" he asked softly. She hesitated. I saw the man who used to work here. He came yesterday night through the back door while I was sleeping near the alley. He put something into the cake. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't right." Ethan stared at her, stunned by her honesty and her courage. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Lily," she whispered. "Where are your parents, Lily?" She lowered her head. I don't have them anymore." Her voice broke. "I sleep wherever I can. I don't steal. I don't beg much. I just try to survive." Something inside Ethan softened. A part of him he never knew existed. He knelt down to her eye level. "You saved my life today, Lily," he said. "Why?" She shrugged. Because people ignore me, sir, but I don't ignore people. Her words stabbed him in the heart. A billionaire saved by a homeless child. The irony wasn't lost on him. Ethan stood and turned to his driver. "Get her something to eat, anything she wants." Lily's face lit up for the first time. While she ate, Ethan called security teams, legal advisors, and his acquisition officers to secure the cafe and catch the man responsible. But his mind kept drifting back to the little girl who had seen more pain than any child should. After finishing her meal, Lily slowly walked toward him. "Thank you, sir. I'll go now." Ethan frowned. "Go where?" She shrugged. "Somewhere. I'll find a place." "No," he said firmly. "You're coming with me." Fear crossed her face. I don't want to be a burden. You saved my life. You're not a burden." He took her to a private child welfare organization run by a trusted friend, one that actually cared for children rather than exploiting them. Lily was given new clothes, a warm bed, and the first safe home she'd had in years. But Ethan didn't stop there. He visited her every day. They talked, laughed, and slowly built an unlikely friendship. Lily reminded him of innocence he'd long forgotten. She was bright, curious, and brave, despite everything life had thrown at her. Months passed. Lily joined school. She excelled in studies. She made friends. She blossomed. Ethan funded her education anonymously, not wanting her to feel indebted. One day Lily ran up to him, holding her report card with trembling hands. "I got first place," she said proudly. Ethan smiled, a real, genuine smile he hadn't felt in years. "I always knew you would." She hugged him tightly. It was the first time anyone had hugged him without expecting anything in return. That night, as Ethan sat alone in his mansion, he realized something. He had spent years building walls around his heart, but a starving little girl had walked right through them, with nothing but courage and kindness. He whispered to himself, "Money never saved me. Lily did." Ending message: sometimes the smallest voice in a crowd carries the biggest truth. Sometimes the person you overlook becomes the one who saves you. And sometimes life gives you a miracle in the form of a child who had nothing but heart.